Generic greetings. In the previous episode, we planned out this. Now, obviously, it's not a full plan because, as I've mentioned, I'm doing things just a little bit differently. I'm trying to give an overall grand plan of the thing, and then we'll get into the detail each episode. But either way, we managed to plan out this. Each of these blocks are like cells. This is the rough design for the first one. There's been a couple of comments on that. I'll get to that later on. And these, obviously, are just going to copy them. These are empty rooms, which we will have whatever we need, really, nursery, things like that. This is where we've got staff room and other such things. We've got entranceways here, obviously wall all the way around, kitchen and canteen in the centre. Over this side we've got a bit of all sorts actually. This is like security, and then you've got like solitary not solitary cells, you've got protective custody cells. We don't yet have solitary anywhere, but we'll probably put it around here, or we can mess around with it if we really want to. Either way, we've got a rough design, and in this episode, and subsequent ones, I guess, we'll be cracking on with it. So let's just do that. What I'm going to do is go to reports, and then to prisoners, and it's always in intake. I always go to prisoners to get more prisoners, but it's in intake. I'm going to turn off closed intake. Now, a lot of people have been asking, what sort of prisoners are we going to get here? Well, the fact is, I don't know, so I'm going to leave it up to yourself. What sort of prisoners do you want to see in this prison? We're not going to get to prisoners for the next couple of episodes at the very least, so I wouldn't worry about it too much. Either way, let's just see how we're going to go. So what I'm going to do is go around the entire prison and place some fencing here, and then we'll go to there, all the way around the outside. Now, this is going to take a little bit longer than normal because we've got a lot of trees to actually get rid of as well, and I have to make sure we're getting the right areas done. So this is a double fence, just because it's always best practice to have two fences, because if you don't, then, well, what can happen if one breaks because of an event? Then all of the prisoners escape. So I always go for double fencing. We might eventually get on to changing this to a perimeter wall, but we'll see how it goes, won't we? So there we go, and then we'll just unpause it. A lot of people have mentioned this thing here. Obviously, there's been a lot of comments and feedback, etc., and people are saying about this wall and like, why does it exist? And honestly, it's just a cosmetic thing. That's the only real reason. So while they're cracking on with that, what I'm going to do is go to planning and then to walls and speed up to max speed and let these crack on. So there's been a lot of comments regarding this here, saying that this is off center. Yes, it is off center. It wasn't done on purpose or anything like that, but I don't think I can centralize it. Let's have a quick measurement. It's 42, so I guess we can go to, say, 21 and cut it out there, maybe like that. That might be able to work. So measure it from there. We're on 20, and this side will be on 20 as well. So technically that is the center, I believe. So we'll just go down, and then that, and then that, and that should hopefully alleviate some people's issues with it. As long as we can get in objects here, which we can actually get in from there and there. We can actually get in our tables and chairs. So it looks like that is actually pretty okay. So we'll do that. So this corner, just measuring it again, that is 20, and then from this corner it's 20. So that is exactly in the middle. Looks like people, well, hopefully will be happy with that. Excellent. There's been a lot of comments regarding this thing, saying they wish they would have this is the same size as the others, because this is the staff room. I agree that it would be nice if it was the same size. Sadly, in order to do that, I don't think we can actually have it as a staff room. I think a staff room has to be a 5x5, which actually, that reminds me, because this is only 4, so we're going to have to check this. Let's have a quick look at staff. And minimum size 4x4, so actually you can have a staff room that is the same size as these other ones. So we can, if we want to, do that and have this as the staff room. I might do that, and the reason for it is not because it's similarity to the other ones or it's symmetrical or anything. It's because going around here was always giving me a little bit of anxiety. I didn't like them wandering around the outside. Anxiety was maybe the wrong word, but it was always bothering me that when they came out here, they would have to go around it. So perhaps we'll do that, but it also depends on the amount of prisoners and staff we're going to have. Someone has worked it out, but I can't exactly remember what it is. It's a fair amount of prisoners, needless to say. It also depends on how much dormitory we go for as well, because we might be expanding this, so we'll just see how it goes. As I said, the whole point in this new series is to hopefully be a little bit more responsive to what things are going on, but still keep the overall planning. Now, you may have noticed I have not bought any other workers, just because I'm not bothered about the time that this takes. I'm trying to slow the pace a little bit. There's no point in absolutely smashing through this and we're done in a couple of episodes. I'd rather just slow a little bit, not dawdle about, but let them crack on. And I don't really care about actually buying a couple more workmen. Although how many we've got? 8 workmen. That's fine. So we do need a warden. We need other things as well. But let's just go to our reports and then to grants. And we're going to take a basic detention centre grant and then an administration centre grant. And there we go. Obviously speed it up to max speed there because it is cracking on. I mean, it does really seem actually a little bit slow. That's the normal time. There you go. So we got 52,682 generic credits stroke units of currency, and we're getting 840 per day, which means I could have just left it and have it crack on. So while they're going around, it's going to take a little bit more time because they're having to remove loads and loads of trees. The good thing is that there's actually loads of logs that they can get rid of. So what I'm going to do is just go over this side, we'll go to rooms, and then we'll type in EX, and we'll get exports. And we're just going to shove a little bit of exports in here just so they can actually flog it. But that's just a temporary one for now. Or actually, it might not be temporary because this thing here, I've always said, or I was saying last episode, I don't really know what this room's going to be. And I said it was probably going to be an area for the infirmary, as well as the psychologist and like an Alcoholics Anonymous bit. I thought that was a nice idea, having it all in one room, but a lot of people have said actually it would be nice to have it as a workshop. I think it's a little bit too small for a workshop. Perhaps one of these will become workshops, but we'll see how it goes. We might not even have one as well, but that'll obviously be later on, because at the moment we just want the detention centre grant and then the administration centre. So there we go. The rooms here, we do have to have a quick look, and I think we'll have a bit of a plan while we crack on. So because this is a female prison, we will need a couple more things. So we need family cells, which is a minimum 4x4. It needs to be enclosed, and which is surrounded by walls and doors, and beds, toilets, cribs, things like that in there. So that's it needs, and a shower head as well. So it needs to be quite substantial. Now, in order to also have that legitimate, we need to also have a nursery nearby. I don't think... Oh, there's one there, which is serving table, bench, crib, and playmat. Because essentially, if female prisoners come in with children, they have to go in a family cell. That's problematic for me to build straight away because it's going to cost a bit. But let's plan this out. So the minimum size for the cell has to be 4x4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright. So we could have a 4x4 cell, like that. Alright. So assume this goes to the end. Like so. How many can we fit in? Let's have a quick measurement. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes, we can have 8. Excellent. That's good. Then what I'll do is I'll open these up. Like so. Actually, how do I want to do this? What was that noise? That I think there was like cash flow. We got some money. I think that's what it was. Intake's obviously off because we don't want to do that. We'll delete the warden's message. What I need to do is have an area where we have probably like that. I'll open it up as. And have the entrances like so. This is only a rough idea. The reason this is so big is because the entranceway will be there. Alright? And then this will be a nursery. And then these will be the individual family cells. Something like that. Obviously this back bit here, we could even do that. Yeah. No, we couldn't. I was going to say what we'd do is have a little extra section, but it just wouldn't work out. Not because of the spacing, you see. If it was one wider, then we'd be okay, but no, we can't for the time being. So we'll do that. At the end, if we really wanted to, we could easily put some phone booths or something like that. There's no wasted space in that one. We could have the entranceways either side, and I know that's what people would probably request, and maybe we'll change that, but let me know. Either way, I think that's a good plan. We do need showers, so what we'd probably do is that. Something like that. So at the back, and well, top and back. Bottom and top, I guess, because of the orientation. We would have these like so. Ah, that guy's stuck. Are they stuck? No. They will be stuck because they can't get past this and I can't delete it, which is really annoying. But anyway. It's a wall previously from the build, but because it's on the edge, you can't delete it. So they're going to have to walk all the way around. So that's a rough idea for family cells. So we got 2, 4, 6, 12 in total. I think that's okay. I think that's okay with the nursery. And obviously we'll have one up here as well. This building in front of it, I don't know. Maybe we'll put the hardcore prisoners there. Maybe we'll put the death row there. People have asked if I'm going to have death row in this. I hadn't decided. I didn't really plan it off to begin with, but it is a possibility. Anyway, so we're going to go to foundations. Building brick. We could do concrete, but I think brick is our standard standard choice here. We're still building. It's still taking ages. You know what? I'm gonna get some more workmen. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we'll increase our workmen by 50%. Building brick, and then we'll start cracking on here. I need to pause it, but I don't think that's a big problem. So from here, we need to go down to there, and then we need to go over to there. Obviously, all of these need to be made at some point, but for the time being, we're okay. So large jail door will naturally go at the front. There we go. And that should be an entrance for both of them. Yes, it is. Excellent. And we will put, eventually, a door there as well. A couple more comments. People have mentioned the yard and ask if I'm going to put in a couple of things such as weight benches. Yes. Standard benches. Yes, possibly. And tables, probably not, because the tables are right next to this. I've also said, and not really related to the yard, you understand, but there's also been comments made, and it sort of does tie into this. Are we going to have guard towers? Probably, and the reason I mention it is because we could probably have them in the yard, because it makes sense having them there. So what we'll do, we'll have a quick measurement here. So we know that the yard is exactly 52. So we want to have this centre, which should be there. That should be the centre, I believe. So it should be 26 to there, which it is. 26 to the other corner, hang on. 26, which it is. And then a gap of 4 either side. 4, and then 4. There you go. So that could be in the centre if we really wanted it. Let me just go up and get this side done as well. Essentially, the centre is exactly where that is. Unsurprisingly, that's exactly where it is. Yes, so... Excuse me. Yes, we've got the guard towers either side. Whether we put them in there, I don't know, because obviously it does give suppression effect and things like that. It really does depend on the type of prisoners that we get, whether we get high risk, things like that. I think we will be going for a bit of everything, a bit of a mucky mixture. We might do the standard beta test prisoners, so we get low risk in first, then normal risk, and then high risk after that. Remember, we have got gangs on and such, so we do have to worry about that. So we'll see how it goes. Today's prison building beverage is a nice cup of tea. Lemon, in fact. So, this building is getting, well, built. And a lot of people were asking what this little bit is here. That's because this entire line, I think I have mentioned it, but I'll reiterate. Oh, they're all stuck because they can't get back in. Hang on, let me just change something here. We're going to go to our objects and then to staff door. And we want to put a staff door in there. And while we're here, we'll also put a staff door in there. There and there. Yes, the people have been asking what these little sections are. Well, this is going to be visitation, but it's that closed off visitation. So there won't be anyone allowed on the other side of it. What we're going to also do is have a door there. I hadn't planned it, but I think people have suggested, so I think it's a good idea. So we'll have a door there and a door there, and those will be staff only, right? So the prisoners come in, they get searched, then they're taken round here through the staff only bit, and then they're into the main prison. This bit is where people can visit from from the outside, but obviously they will go through here and then this little bit to here, so they will never go the other side. So it's a full sealed off area, and hopefully it will work. Now, whether or not we change that later on if we do expand, because remember we do plan on expanding, or the idea is that if we don't mess this up, we can expand. What we want to do is probably put in some more visitation. Whether or not we use the standard visitor tables or not, I don't yet know, but we will see, as always, how it goes. Right. So we're getting a couple of our administration centre stuff in. So build 2 offices, which is what I'm going for. I was going to have this as our staff room, but it makes sense to actually have it closer to this side because that's closer to the centre of the prison. That's my logic. I might be flawed, but that's what we're going to do. And then we're going to have office 1 and then 2. Obviously, we need to go to objects and then to staff door. Actually, no, we've already got a staff door. We need to go to this. Actually, we could have probably gone to quick build, and then I believe we have offices in here. Yeah, there you go. There's a standard office, you see. Look at that. Yeah, we could have just used them. Oh, well. There's a lot of nice stuff in this quick build stuff. Solitary cell. Look at that. It is just a toilet in the, in a block. That is a basic cell. Luxury cell. Ooh, very, very nice. Look at that. Shared cell. Office. Canteen. Not a big canteen, you understand. Kitchen. There you go. Classroom. I like that. That's quite cute. Common room. Nah, it's a bit generic. And utility room. Look at that. Pretty much the same design. Yeah, pretty much what we've got there. But very, very similar. Anyway, let's go to these offices. And I think we are going to copy them. We'll probably do a similar sort of thing. So I think I'm going to put a final cabinet on the other side just because it makes sense. Put these in here. There we go. So there's our 2 officers. Obviously we need to go to staff, warden, Bosch. There we go. We now have 1 warden. We also need 2 officers, which we're going for. Unlock finance, do bureaucracy, and hire an accountant. So bureaucracy, finance. This is the new tab for the bureaucracy screen. As you can see, they got rid of the cork board thing, which I did like originally, but it didn't really fit in with the rest of it. And hopefully they're going to redo this prison grading thing because it's a bit meh. Okay, so utilities and a power. I don't know why I went really high pitched there. Maybe just because I'm an idiot. But either way, we'll go for utilities. So we'll get the power station and the water pump. We'll have 5 capacitors, like so. Electrical cable, obviously connecting these. And then we're going to have to start running the electrical cable all over the place. So what I'm going to try and do is sort of follow entrance ways and such. I could, if I want to, have the door straight at the back. No, we'll just go straight in. I was going to follow entrance ways. We don't need to do that. That's just a slippery slope of doing all sorts of things. So we'll just run them in like so. So there's that all powered up. What else? We need holding cell, showers, all of this stuff. We're going for the administration center first, and then what we'll end up doing probably is going for almost certainly. We'll almost certainly end up getting the grant for the where is it? Hang on, inmate health and well-being. Yeah, which means we need this thing done. Okay, so might as well crack on with that. Building brick. Pause it for a second. 1 and 2. There's that sorted. Now I haven't actually planned this, which was bad. I should have really planned this off. So assuming this is going to be our well, actually, it's going to be a couple of things, to be honest with you. A lot of people have mentioned that we don't actually have, at the moment, a cleaning cupboard, which is a bit of an oversight on my part. So, yes, you are right. We do need a psychologist office. We need an Alcoholics Anonymous area. So, I think what we can do, we'll have Alcoholics Anonymous back here. And then, you know what, it's a bit difficult while we're... This is a little bit difficult while we're actually trying to build the thing. And then we'll have a psychologist office over here. Alright, and then we'll have a doorway there. And then we will have next to it... I don't want to right click to cancel that because it'll cancel the entire build, which is not something I am keen on doing. Right, so... This is going to be a bit all over the place, this thing, but... It's not necessarily a bad thing. It does require an entranceway. When in doubt, always put a door in somewhere, and then that'll build. Okay, there we go. And while they're doing that, I'm going to go to dismantle and dismantle all these trees. I believe they do cut them down properly. Yeah, they've got a little axe, you can see. Chopping them down with the axe. Come on, get on it. There you go. Essentially just chop all that down. You know, there's a lot of wood to reclaim here, and we can get money from that, I think. So there we go. Yeah, that's taking all the wood, and then they'll fling it on the exports and get it sold. Excellent. Right, so over here, just, actually we won't pause it, we'll let them crack on. So we're going to go to the walls, and then we'll run this around. So this is a psychologist's office. We'll have a door there, and then a door there. This will be the morgue, which will have like a door there. And then we'll have, this will be a couple of rooms. So we'll have a laundry and we'll have an infirmary. Now the infirmary will have a 2x2, 2x2, 2x2. That's some beds, medical beds there. We could have something similar next to it like so, and then a little bit in the middle. That's fine. Cleaning cupboard, and then this is our laundry. I think that is about right. Now the only problem, it's not the only problem, but it is a problem, is that to get to the back here, you need to go through 3 rooms. Psychologist's office, infirmary, and then this at the back. So, what we'll probably do is we'll go for a standard door. We'll have a door there, a door there, and then a door there. Alright? Now what that allows me to do, Might as well have a door on either side here. We want a staff door in this corner, because this is going to be a morgue. The reason we're doing all of that is because it means that they can then go direct to the room at the back. Now, I'm not entirely convinced that this is going to work. This whole alcoholics room, alcohol. I'm not drinking. I'm not pished. Definitely not pished. The Alcoholics Anonymous room, if one can enunciate, at the back here is problematic because I don't know if it's going to work. Essentially, I don't know whether or not it will function because it's just going to be a common room. So, common room, like so. And then we're going to have chairs in it. That's all it's going to be. It's just going to be a room full of chairs. So, whack the chairs along. And straight on the other side. That's all it is. Actually, we'll cancel them. And we'll put one at the end, like 2 at the end, like that. And that's all our Alcoholics Anonymous room is going to be. Whether this is a good idea, we'll find out in a couple of episodes, I'm sure. Right, so we do need some power in this thing, so I'm going to run some... That's a pipe valve. Electrical cable, we'll run one straight up like so, and then we will need to run one in here because we're going to have the laundry and stuff in there. So laundry and cleaning cupboards. So we've got that box ticked, which is good. So we've unlocked from the... administration center. Oh, by the way, this thing here, I know I've already messed up because this was originally going to be outside, but I decided to change it mainly because it wouldn't look. It would just look dodgy with it being no. That's a building. This is a building. This is a building. So essentially, you're going through buildings into a little compound and then into another building. So it just made sense just to brick the whole thing over. Anyway. Go to staff, go to accountant, and there you go. And then we've got another grant done. Or we've got the first grant done of the game. Over to bureaucracy, we want to get a extra grant unlocked and a bank loan. There we go. Now the warden can unlock all sorts of different things, but obviously it's psychology and then health that we want to unlock as well, because we are going to go over to reports and then get our inmate health and well-being grant, which is have a medical ward, at least 2 doctors, and a psychologist. So there we go. Over to our utilities here, and we can see electrical cable is still not being placed. What's happening is they're just taking all their time because I ordered them to do this. They're just taking the time doing that, which I don't really mind at all. So back over while they're cracking on with that to these cells. So this is the standard cells, and I did mention that right at the start of the episode that there was probably going to be some changes to this. Now, I don't think there's going to be any changes when it comes to the cells. The cells pretty much universally received as being okay. Let me just click on this little notebook page. There we go. Close all that. Eventually I will actually get all of them, but until then I don't really want to read them. And then yeah, all the standard cells seem to be okay. This is the shower. Some people have said we should have an entrance down the bottom. I'm not a big fan of that because it just takes a lot of room out. Essentially, you are wiping out. If I do... Well, the problem is we're going to have a... If you do that, then you have the... Oh, actually, no. Ooh. Normally I do that, you see, but you don't need to do that anymore. So if you just have 4... If you just have the drains there and the drains there, I actually put them there and there just in case someone get damaged. But essentially, we could have them either side. Don't know if it's required, but we could have them either side. I like the idea of it not because this is a luxury cell, so it doesn't really make much sense. You just walking past and then you just look and there's just people showering and stuff. Which maybe that's why it's a luxury cell. I'm not going to judge, but anyway, max speed. Let's crack on. So yeah, this is okay. We might change this. These are not too bad. Size is okay as far as people are concerned. This thing, bit of point of contention, don't really know what we're going to do with it. A lot of people have said what we can do is get rid of those and put phone booths at the top. I like that idea a lot. And this thing is either security, or we can have, if nothing else, we can just get rid of it entirely and either extend the shower up, which is something we don't need. The shower is big enough. In fact, people have said that we can shrink this down, which I actually agree with. I think essentially when you've got, what, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14... 16, 17 prisoners, and you'd have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16 shower heads in here. Assuming you do that. There's no need for it, is there? You don't need anything bigger than that. So maybe that's what we're going to do. Shrink the shower size down just a little bit. And then up here, we still have to have... Well, we don't have to have, but it would be nice to have another room. Now, we could do this. Again, some sort of room for... pool tables or something like that. I don't really know what. So by all means, let me know what you think this room should be. I'm leaning towards a execution chamber. No, no. I'm leading towards the electric chair in there. No, we're probably going to go for a common room, but we'll see how it goes. Right, so we had a ding-a-ling noise, and what that's probably meant is if we go over to our staff, we can actually hire a psychologist, which we will do. Now, obviously, he's going to stand around in this room and go, well, I don't really want to be here, so why the hell have you put me here? Well, that's because I'm going to get you an office, mate. So here we go. We want a couple of desks and things, so we'll have a desk at the back there with a nice little filing cabinet, and also we'll have a pool table. I don't think that is generating there. We'll have that there. There's the office planned out at the moment. We do want a chair up there as well, just so they can have a little chat. Excellent. Right. So there's that. We also need to go to rooms and to our infirmary. Infirmary is not there looking. Actually, see, it's locked because we're still researching it. That's the wrong tab. Bureaucracy. Bank loans on the go. Health's almost done. Excellent. Okay. So, we'll also go for security. The reason we're getting bank loan, by the way, is because it's just general good rule of thumb. Because you can then extend your line of credit by essentially getting it. Where is it? It's in grants? Yeah, bank loan. Increase it, then decrease it. And because you've paid it back, your credit rating goes up, which means you can then borrow more. So you're giving yourself a little bit of a safety net if you do that. And just make sure this is all plumbed in. So we'll go to rooms, and it looks like we've actually got that one. It made a ding-a-ling noise, so I'm guessing it's going to be in here. I'll just type infirmary. There it is. So we can put an infirmary in. There we are. Obviously, that is no longer... It's not a legitimate room, but we don't really care for the time being. All I'm going to do is get the grant done. So, we've also got Staff Wellbeing Initiative, which we're going to get. Build a staff room, which we haven't got. Oh, we've just got the grant completion for this thing. Excellent. We also want to go for short-term investment, because it is generally a good thing to go for. And I think we'll focus on just finishing off around here with a brick wall, along and around. And we'll get a staff room up and running. Actually, this will probably be our staff room. There's a lot of wasted space in here, and I think having a bit bigger staff room here is fine. I don't see any big problem with that one. And it's also a straight shot into here as well. A lot of people will probably say move this down, and you know what? Just for the sake, we'll dismantle nice little new tab thing. Looks much better. Just the quality of life improvements in the game is on this version is quite good as well. Yeah, so essentially it's a little bit bigger, but I think that's fine. I don't think there's any really issues there. So we need to wait for funds, hire a staff room, at least 5 guards without assigned duties. So it's a simple matter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. I know we're getting them early, but actually the money you get isn't really a big issue. So you need a wide sofa and a drinks machine. The money you pay for them, rather, in the long run, because obviously you have to pay them at night. It's not much in it, and I'd rather just get the easy staff stuff done. So you come in, you can get your drink, and then you get a wide sofa there as well. Obviously, we'll furnish this fully. We'll have some more 300. I know, we'll just put them in. It doesn't really cost much, does it? Drinks machine costs 500, so we'll not bother with it. So there we go. There's that one sorted, and we've got 2 more grants to do. So I've got Reform Through Education Initiative, which is pretty much impossible because I've never managed to do it. I think... yeah, general education we did, and then there's foundation, which foundation we managed to do, but not the general. I've never completed that. I think any of these videos, or even when I'm doing it solo. I think it's because if you have armed guards and stuff, it's just you're gonna have issues, which is why I'm not too keen on those things down there. Anyway, we'll go for long-term investment because that's just general good rule of thumb. Because, well, it takes 5 days, 6 days, something like that to actually crack on. So yeah, it's something you want to get done sooner rather than later. So we've got a couple more things to do at the front here. We're going to go to staff doors, and we're going to change... we could change these to staff doors, or no, these are going to be standard doors, these ones here, because this is where we have to have civilians walking through. These ones, where they'll be breaking out, we will go for jail doors. Like so. And then at the front, we want to get a reception put in. So let's work on the reception. So we'll get this little bit at the front. And the reception is tables, which we planned off either side, which is fine. I've also got jail doors on there and there as well, so they can actually get around, because at the moment, there's no way in it. I've just remembered, there's probably some workmen stuck in the corner and have been there for some time. We'll go to office desks, and we will shove an office desk there, and a chair in there as well, like so. Or do we want it offset? I don't know. I don't know if we want it offset or not. No, that's fine, because they're just going to walk around there anyway, so that's okay. So, we've got the reception all put in, and obviously we're going to get stacks of things coming in now, which is fine. Over to the top, we might as well start on with, we need prison labour, essentially, which is maintenance, so we need to unlock that. Haven't yet got policy. Would be nice to do that, but it's £1,000 and it's quite expensive. We haven't got patrols. Not really too sure what else we can get. Armory, yes, we're going to have one, but only because if you don't plan one, you might regret it later on. But we'll see how it goes. We'll sort the morgue out because we haven't got it. So, morgue in here. Plan it off. And then we need, obviously, morgue slabs. Now, I could just place them in a big row across there. I actually think that's probably the way to do it. It's a little bit of money, but at least we don't have to touch it. Obviously, I haven't got flooring put in. Standard rule, really, for the builds is that I always ignore flooring. You get concrete as standard, and the concrete is, well, it doesn't look great, but it works. As in, it's got high movement speed, so you might as well leave it. The rest is just aesthetic stuff. And at this point, we're not really worried about too much, anyway, how it looks. We're just focusing on getting the thing actually working. So, we won't have cleaning cupboard yet. No, cleaning cupboard we do not yet have. So we need to really crack on, I guess, with the kitchen and the canteen. So we need to go foundations, building brick, and then essentially spend all the money we have left on doing that. Actually, it's not all the money. We've got a fair bit of money. But once you factor in all of the things inside it, we're going to be running very, very low. So we'll put in the doors that we know we're going to need. This, obviously, is going to be an issue because it's a tree. There has been comments about this saying it's offset, and the reason it's offset is because if I had a single door, like a staff door, which is what we're going to have, the workers can come in and out at will. No problem at all, because they've got their own key. If we have a large jail door, which would make it in the centre, not only do we lose another space, which means we're going to have to lose another cooker, it also means they won't be able to open it automatically themselves. We'd have to have an automatic door opener, which means we'd have to get security up and running faster. So essentially, this is the best way forward. At the moment, we might, like I say, change that as we go on. But in answer to the inevitable question, are we going to have people working in the kitchen? I do not know, because, you know, I'm leaving that up to you whether you think we should have it. It all really depends on the choice of prisoners. If we have, like, just loads of high risk, if we end up going that way, I think we're going to do a mix, but again, this is, you know, a choice that I'd leave it up to yourself. If we do go for that, if we do go for a mixed prisoner regime, then we should be okay for having people working in here. Whether or not that happens, I don't know. We'll see. Like I say, it really will depend on the prisoners that we get. And the good thing about it is now is you well, not now, but you've always been able to do this. You've got different regimes, which while I'm here, actually, I'm going to change things to free time, because we'll be changing all this about anyway. Yeah, so you've got now work and free time, and work and lockup. So what that means is originally work was actually, well, work has now been renamed work/free time. Because what will happen is, well, what used to happen and what still does happen is that anyone that's got a job in the prison will go and work in wherever it is. So whether it be the workshop or the kitchen or cleaning or whatever job they're doing. And the ones that are not assigned to any task or job, don't have a job, will have free time. That's what it always was, but it never really made that clear. Now it does. However, there was always the request. There was always like a need to have work lockup. So essentially, anyone's got a job, they go and crack on and work, and the rest they go and get locked up, which I think is good because it means now that you can have... I'll be using that, but I won't be using it exclusively. I used to have a couple of hours of lockup in the middle of the day, or just after dinner. What I'm going to do now is just after dinner, or probably just before it, actually, if people are working in the kitchen. Just before it, we'll have a couple of hours of work lockup, which means the people who are working in the kitchen or other places get to go and do all of that, and then they get lockup, which means your punishment goes up, so it's, you know, it's good for grading. And then they'll obviously come in here and then crack on with all of the things, and then after that, they'll be able to come in and eat. But, you know, we'll see what goes. Right, utilities, electrical cable, want to run that straight up. What I want to do is centralise it, actually, a little bit more. I think that is centralised. Ish. That'll do. Run to the end. There we go. And we need to go to our rooms and then kitchen, which will be this entire thing. And we'll just cut that little front bit off. And then canteen. Same sort of thing. All the way at the end. It'll take a little while for them to do that, but there we go. We'll cut that off, and then this one, cut that off as well. Don't know why, but looks like the door wasn't placed there. Maybe I just didn't place it. Maybe it didn't click properly. Right, so that's the kitchen and canteen. Obviously, we need to furnish that, but we will see how it goes, because I think we're going to leave it there. Not a bad episode at all. We have got a couple of grants done, several grants done, in fact. We've got this room, which didn't really have a purpose, now with a lot of purposes. Lots of purpose. Maximum purpose over here, because we've got Alcoholics Anonymous, we've got infirmary, we've got the morgue, psychologist's office, cleaning cupboard, laundry, the lot. We've got the lot, right, essentially, which is good because it means that we are looking after the prisoner's needs early on, because we're getting all of this straight away. Instead of just getting solitary, you can tell the type of prison that we're going to make. He says, knowing that he's going to get solitary up soon and then probably have a massive, really harsh regime. Anyway, kitchen and canteen obviously planned. We haven't really furnished that. We'll do that later on in next episode. Got the reception in. Got a couple of these nice buildings in as well. We've got a room that currently doesn't have a purpose, which I should have probably changed to storeroom, because that's what it should be. So there we go. Haven't actually done a separate room here because I don't really need it. So there you go. That's going to be our storage. And then essentially, that's it. Oh, we got them offices as well, and we got some nice planning. So I hope this format is working for you. By all means, let me know about changes, feedback, etc. Slowed the pace a little bit as well, and I think I prefer it, actually. I know we haven't done as much as I would normally do, but I think it works because it allows me to explain things better, and hopefully I haven't made as many mistakes. So overall, I am happy, but I would love to know your feedback. That's why we did some changes. These things here, obviously we've got them roughly planned out. This is the family stuff with nursery. This is the thing with the stuff and what that's in the doodads. It's the cell blocks, or different ratings of cells, slightly shrunk down shower area with a door at the top and bottom. We might not have that, we'll see. And then a room which doesn't have a purpose, which I'm sure you can give it one. So there we go. As always, comments in the comments, and we will go from there. Next episode we'll be cracking on and hopefully not going bankrupt, but I can't really promise that. Thank you very much for watching. Take care, and generic partings.